What's happening, everybody? And we're back again. Hey, this is Sammy Speed. Sammy, Miami. Please don't do that. Green eggs and hammy. Oh God, I hate that. Every birthday, I swear. Green eggs and ham was the first thing that I got as a ingenious original gift. So, welcome to the new studio. We upgraded a little bit. We've added chairs right here. Got some cool little ride goodies over here. And, little speaker thingy going on here. Don't know what we'll do with all this crap, but hey, it's in the background and it's cool. So why not? Not to mention, we've got all the posters that you could ever want on the background. And one of these days, even you might get to win a whole collection of them. That's a little bit in the future, but not right now. So anyway, let's get on to the show. We're doing issue 2 of Cartoons Magic, and the format has completely changed. So, what the hell? Let's get this rolling. 3, 2, 1. It's time. And we're back. So, nice to see everybody. Got cool new microphones. Look, got a little microphone. Let's see. It's on the side, the side, the side, the side. There it is. Hey, there it is. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Anyway, this is Sammy Speed coming to you from Cartoons Magazine's little podcast. It is the show of what you've been missing. That's right. Down the road, we might do some podcasts on a different name. But for right now, the shows that we're doing are just to show you what you've been missing. And one of the things that you have been missing is the episodes that you do not have. And this is, if you can see this, we can zoom that in. Maybe I'll just fudge this in later. Maybe make it pop up on the corner or something. I don't know. This is Cartoons issue number 2. It's basically your hot rod, old muscle car edition. Also, the beginning of Granny McCool. So anyway, and before we get started, I gotta go and talk about our sponsor, of course, Mr. Cartoons. That's right, Cartoons Magazine, cartoonsmag.com, where you can get buy subscriptions and these back issues we're talking about today. And the cool little thing here is that Cartoons 10 will get you 10% off all your swag, all your goodies, all the stuff that you like so friggin' much. From back issues to digital issues to merch, whatever. One of the things I want to mention to you guys as well is that a year subscription now is only $29.95. Sounds like a lot of money, but it's really not. It's an awesome magazine. I love it to death. 60th year, man. 60th year. Yeah, 1959 was when they were put into place. And this is why. Because it's just awesome, kid. Just awesome. Anyway, let's get to it. So our format's changed. I want to go through that first before we get even started. Format has changed. What we're going to do is we talk about the issue a little bit. I'll talk about my 5 favorite articles in there. Okay? We will have what we call our learning segment, which we'll go over just a couple little things about about this magazine and the learning segment inside the magazine. I'm not going to go into it in detail, just going to give you kind of a little explanation of what it is. And then we have a little fun stuff for the end. All right? And now I'm going to mention something now, and we'll put it in the bottom in the I guess the links below. And that is sammyspeed100@gmail.com. That's Sammy, SAMMY, speed100@gmail.com. Anytime you can send your pictures of your cool cars, classic cars and whatnot, and if they're clean and portrait style, meaning this way, not this way, I will put them and post them in our segment of cool cars from our people that watch cartoons. All right, they're cool rides. You know, it could be a project car. You can talk, and if it's a video, put no music in the background, and make sure, again, brought my phone here specifically for this. Make sure it's this way, not that way. Okay, and no music, and make sure that you know by sending us that video, you are giving me full rights to use it on our videos here. Okay, so with that being said, pretty awesome thing. You can put your video out too and show off your rides and give you a little publicity at the same time. And then our last thing is what I call our funny tags and fun and crazy rides. And basically what that amounts to is that if you see a tag that sounds funny, or you could word it out to make it sound like something crazy, you know, something where it's not their custom tag but it looks custom and it looks like something funny, send it in anyway. So, and again, funny car, if you see something that's kind of crazy or outrageous, you can put that in there as well. So back to this, the format. We'll talk about the magazine to start. We'll talk about the learning segment of the magazine, and then we will also talk about the funny, cool, you know, your cool rides, and then we'll have our funny rides and crazy tags. So, with that being said, let's get on to the show. All right, let's rock this. All right, so anyway, we're going to talk about, now that all the commercials and all that crazy shit's out of the way, let's get to what we need to go to. Issue number 2, which was Jeff Slemons. Jeff Slemons is one of my favorite artists. I try not to be heavy on telling people that, but he is, and there's a reason. The guy is just amazing at detail. I mean, you can look at one picture, one poster of him, and what's cool about it is Jeff Slemons is the guy that made the front cover and the poster for this magazine for issue number 2. And I mean, just looking down at the magazine, I found something different I didn't even notice before. There's a little helicopter right there in the flamage on the cartoon's logo. And again, it's just, you can look at that and just look at the poster for an hour and not see everything that he's drawn into it. The man's awesome. I mean the other guys are great too, but he's my favorite. So I might be a little lenient on him as being the coolest. Hey, if the other guys get mad, I'm sorry. I apologize. But anyway, back to the back to this. So other guys that are just amazing. Of course, you know, I have to talk about George Trosley. George is the guy that does the Deuce and Pinstripe, also does the how-tos, and George is just great. I mean, he is. Deuce and Pinstripe is excellent for our every issue read. First one in the door, this guy and young guy and gal, they just go out and they pick up a car, find something that's crazy, or they find something that they're going to a car show and they always win. Why? Because they always come up with some outrageous idea that nobody else thinks of at the time. And it's really cool. And then this one here, it's one of my top 5 because why? Because they take Cobra, the old, you know, Shelby Cobras were the pinnacle of, you know, when muscle cars started to be muscle cars. The 0 to 100 to 0 deal was awesome on those cars. But anyways, 420, you know, with a 427, the whole 9 yards, and they have this really cool thing that they fix one up, and they make their version of a Cobra snake. You know, I won't go any farther than that. So back to the rest of it. It's and there's also the evolution of the muscle car. So by Mr. Kelly. It's kind of cool. You know, it goes through like old caveman style. I like it. It's not part of my 5, but I just had to mention it today. The Skidmark Show was one of my favorites, called Car Actoristics. Okay, the Skidmark Show was was it's a funny off of the MSN Jeff Allen show that he has, where he's got the flat 4 or flat 6, whatever they call it, show where they sell and buy cars all the time, and the whole gang's there, and they go out, and the thing is to prove what that a car and a person, they basically resemble each other. And in this aspect, they over resemble each other, and it's like a bunch of freaks that own a car that goes along with that. So that's really cool. I thought it was awesome. It's definitely my number 2. It's such a large piece that they had to make a part 1 and part 2 in the thing. So you watch part of it at the beginning, watch the second part in the end. And my number 3 on the list is one that the Big Boss Man invented, and he put old Ben Drag Daddy Mitchell as the drawer, and he's taken off with us. It's freaking awesome, and it's really funny. It's about how the guys don't do muscle cars, but because it's this episode, they have to talk. It's like they're talking like they're in the. They have to do something like a TV show for the their little excerpt, and so they don't make muscle cars, but they try to. And of course, it's just hilarious. It's hilarious how they make this dragster, and that's all as far as I'll get with it. But I thought it was amazing. I think that one of my other guys was saying, that was my camera guy for a little while. He used to say that I say amazing too much. It almost could be a drinking game. So I'll try to settle down on that if I can. Anyway, so for the RIP issue, part of the issue is great. Well, there went the amazing thing again. And of course, Fred Boatman, God rest his soul. He's not here with us anymore, but he's in here with us with these issues, these back issues. And this is where he brings back old Granny McCool in issue number 2, and it's basically a fight cartoon about her going for a driving test, and there's these police officers that have to give her the driving test, and they're all like trying to get out of it because they know that Granny's just a crazy driver, and they know that she's going to scare the shit out of them. Excuse my language. But anyway, so Granny does the drawing, does what she does best, and she knows how to drive, and scares the crap out of the testers that test her for the driving school. So anyway, and getting her license. So it was pretty cool. And then let's see, there was and of course, Trosley sketchbook, how-to drawing. They go through the 60s, how to draw a cool 60s Mustang. That's really awesome in this one. And also, Scott Fisk has his muscle cars in the Dr. Frankenstein version of how to build a muscle car. And that's awesome. That's my number 5 one. Basically, he uses the Dr. Frankenstein way of thinking. What if, Dr. Frankenstein did cars instead of people, and what would have turned out? Pretty awesome too. Again, these guys are just amazing in all they do. I said the amazing word again. I'm sorry. Okay, so as for the learning, so let's go into the learning segment. So the learning segment is pretty cool this time. It's electronic ignition. Something like, I always love the electronic, the learning segment pieces, because even though if I know about them, I still read them because I always learn something about something that I didn't know. It drives me nuts, but you know what? I'm one of them guys that I like to learn at least one thing a day. And this is my one thing a day today, which is the learning segment. Learning segment's great because it's about electronic ignition. It basically explains how points, the contacts and everything work, and how they also can fail on you. By doing electronic ignition, you eliminate all the points, the condenser, the contacts, and you can get rid of all that and basically all you've got is the electronic ignition and how it knows how to turn on and off your ignition when it needs to, and how it adjusts proportionately. It's really cool to know. It's really, and it basically it improves your car, improves how the spark gets to your engine, and of course by improving the spark that gets your engine, you get better performance. You know how all it goes. But that's what the learning segment is for this time on issue number 2. Hey guys, and so this is so now we're into the back issue second part, which is cool cars and crazy stuff. Again, I don't have any videos for you this time. Why? Because we don't have any, because I just told you guys about it. So I'm going to tell you about it one more time. Just go to sammyspeed100@gmail.com and email you any pictures that you have, any cool cars that you might own. And again, make sure they're portrait style, meaning, again, this way, not this way, this way. And by me saying this now, when you email me a picture or a cool car video, please don't put any music in the background of the cool car videos, and definitely let me know, also let me know any details I need to know to talk about on the air. And if it's a cool car and a cool video, I'll be more than happy to basically put it on the air and we'll talk about it. Other than that, if you have any crazy pictures of any cars that you see on the street, or any crazy tags that you might think would be cool to talk about, well, definitely send those to sammyspeed100@gmail.com as well. Until then, like the cops tell me, keep all 4 wheels on the ground, because you don't have a pilot's license. And that car's not meant to fly. So keep it safe, keep it speedy, but don't get caught. Have a good time, and until next time, peace.